Book 8, Natural Selection in Tribes Through Combat. Body types, the ability to remain conscious in motion, skywalking, footwork, timing, dexterity, agility, speed, sensitivity to motion, and force as a result of body coordination were historically positive evolutionary traits as a result of African martial combat, among other things. Okay. So this kind of ability to say, where do I go with this thing, right? To kind of come into sync with who you truly are. God said to Moses, I am who I am, okay? If you can't even figure out who people are, it's like going through the jungle and you can't figure out a lion. You can't say that's a lion, that's a rat, that's some kind of variation of a rat, some kind of rodent, some kind of cat. If you can't say this, you're a fucking idiot, okay? Humans have been around here for over 300,000 years, been around here for a long, long time. And you can't tell the difference between a piece of shit and the Son of God? Like, what the fuck? You don't have the heart, right? Heart is, sacred heart is part of the patriarchal line. If you come from generations of people that didn't submit to my line, do the math, right? They didn't have the heart or the wisdom to do that. Okay? You are way, way beneath me. Way, way out of touch. Way, 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 way out of touch. I have to explain this. All right. Thick clubs / sticks, axes, mason chains, lances, broadswords, and similar swords, fencing swords, with the accompanying technique and other weapons commonly found in European warfare, while Africans were evolving in a pure martial arts way. Made it so that they were bred to be more suited to armor combat. This is a conscious and collective decision they made. Why didn't they leave and go somewhere else? They decided to stay there. The fish in water versus the fish out of water. They decided to stay in the world energy. Anarchy and chaos, force, inevitability, compulsion, necessity. They weren't looking in terms of morality, but what necessitates life, right? Survivalist, functionalism, and only dying for their complex within that system. And we see this as these people leave Africa and they never then go back to Africa and say, hey, the source of what we are is here. The divine order is there. Okay, the principles are there. It's the natural principles. What is the commonality of man? We must look to Africa and to the African natural warfare to truly understand who's better. Better at what? You're good, right? Good at what? Martial arts. They're lifestyles. A hero lifestyle is a superior lifestyle, and letting the top hero die is not heroic at all. It is cowardly. It is evil. I tell you the truth. No tree that did not obey me can bear good fruit. They turned a blind eye on the highest form of evil that human history has ever occurred. The end of the divine order, the end of God's ability to communicate to man. The end of man's ability to communicate to God. They turned a blind eye to it. They accepted going down. Nobody who's done that and whose destiny it is to be somewhere else, for example, could possibly bear good fruit. They have manifested their bitch, not anything divine. And of course they use psychology and psyche and little twinkle toe bitch shit like that. Psyche is a female soul. It's a female soul. How can people who embrace the idea of a female soul claim that they have masculinity? Just stupid, just stupid. Anyway, we see that in modern warfare. There is a genetic consideration that works in the Europeans' favor, and other groups with similar body types enjoy this modern advantage, right? They've made guns and armor and things to fit their body type, just like the cars, just like the phones. Phones aren't made for big African hands, but for little non-African hands, and so on and so forth. Anyway, Asian, Semites, and Europeans use horses more in their cultures historically, and their agricultural cultures affected the way they evolved. Africans whose martial arts rose to fame have the longest standing martial arts traditions. In response, not that it would change anything if these traditions are cut off. I mean, it wouldn't. Okay? Fighting art for honor, the history of African martial art traditions in the Atlantic world. Okay? These are ancient traditions. I'd go as far as to say they predate man's migration out of Africa. And some martial arts, some Asian martial arts have weighed in and said, yes, martial arts comes from man mimicking animals in a very early stage, and they built on it from there. Okay, that's the source, and that's also the source from the divine order. You don't get to say, hey, we went over here and kind of made our own order. No, especially when this guy's called you all out to a sparring challenge and you failed to beat him before, mind control takes over, right? You don't get to do that. It's not fair. Nobody who calls himself an insightful martial artist would think that's fair. They must accept that they're dishonorable and they've gone a dishonorable direction. Everybody who's alive after I'm gone. They must accept they're not truly religious, they're not truly spiritual, they're not truly martial artists, they're not truly men, they're not truly honorable. We can go through the list, okay? They're on some beta bullshit, some fucking, I want to be I want to have a chip in my brain and have scientists determine my dick size type of bitch shit. Okay, despicable, just cowardly, just beta, just lack of heart. This extreme lack of heart is a very dramatic sealing of man. It wasn't like man was like, we're close. They are so far in the wrong direction. When the sun gate closed, it's like they're done. Okay, there's no way around it. You know, if I imagine myself after I'm dead, I'm like, okay, what do I do now? This guy's gone, and there's a bunch of bitches, and everyone's acting like a globalist fucking Rockefeller. I mean, even Rothschild has the word child in it. Bill Gates, ball. Bill is another name for ball. Okay, and these people, I assure you, they were alive when I lived. I wouldn't be surprised they act like these people are in my fucking head. Warburg, right? It's a war. What kind of a war? It has to do with Bill Gates. It has to do with the Rothschilds. Okay, Rockefeller. Okay, the E. Kissinger, kiss in gear. Phonetics, phony, Phoenicians, phone, sounds, kiss in gear. Okay, they're trying to make everyone a shallow Western whore who looks up to a knight that raped people. Knights went around raping and killing motherfuckers. Okay, and then they were doing it so much in Europe, they're like, let's have a crusade so you go rape and kill the Muslims. And something similar is going on today as all these good old boys in American history went around raping and killing Americans. And they're like, let's go. So America's been fighting all these wars. Go rape them. Go rape the Vietnamese. Go rape the North Koreans. Go rape. This is what's going on. Okay. The military is a rape force. You're a fucking idiot if you don't see it that way. Look up the term war bride. Look up the Phoenix program. Read a book. Look up MK Ultra on record. They were doing mind control to rape people. It's on record. It's not a conspiracy theory. They had fucking official church committee, Rockefeller committee hearings. And of course, it was Rockefeller. Whether or not he's related to fucking David Rockefeller or not, you get the fucking picture. My goodness. Anyway, where are we? Asians developed styles that included fixed or set positions. Remember, set. And were designed to be applied by smaller men in a stealth manner. Now, why did Bruce Lee die? Jeet Kune Do included a degree of footwork. They knew if people started looking at things in terms of footwork, it would give people like me the other hand. So in this aspect, Kung Fu can be seen as King Fo. Okay, anyway. And were designed to be applied by smaller men in a stealth manner. The idea of martial arts comes from Africa, and the body types of the races make this clear. Of course, I'm not racist. I don't see things in terms of race. I think things in terms of good and evil. Okay, just like when people say white supremacy. I don't get, well, I should stick with black people then and put on a thong. No, I say, why exactly are they doing this? What is exactly what it means? And I get the Satanism from that. They're Satanists. They're evil. They're selfish. They know that raising your kid to be like that is evil. They know that cheating people is wrong. They know that raping and killing people is wrong. They know they're not really sticking up to white people. White people are going to be annihilated by the globalist transhumanists, and they're a mix of the big three races, the most dominant financially big three races, white, Jews, and Asians. They know that their direction is white, Jew, and Asian, multicultural, gay, core, gender-neutral, Baphomet, transhumanist bitch. And they don't care a lick for the white race. They only care about themselves and their pathetic sense of pride. All right. The idea of martial arts comes from Africa, and the body types of the races make this clear. One faces the problem that comes with ethnocentrism, racial pride, and the fact that black Africans are the least financially established of the races. Martial arts, not that fucking this can be remedied with throwing a few bones, mind you. Martial arts in their earliest recorded and logically their earliest forms in general were done by black Africans. Martial arts, because the sun shines on them, Ra, the idea of the core of the sun. These guys are embracing this. Whenever, you have your animal style, you have your sun style. Well, guess what? What happens when you go to the sun? And then you look at the moon. Then you're a black guy, you marry a white woman, kind of like my dad. And then voila, here's the top martial arts from the royal family of the Igbos. Igbo, Aba, Obi meaning king, Obi meaning belt. Obi can mean witchcraft as they try to switch the two, right? Lucifer tries to